Hi, and welcome to the second module. This is the first of the really kind of longer modules. There's three longer modules. This one will be 5 weeks in length. The next one will be 4, and the next one will be 5. This one begins basically by talking about what is logic, what makes something an argument, what makes it not an argument, difference between deductive and inductive arguments, and then it gets into evaluating the claims that all arguments make. All arguments make a claim that they infer or they reason to what they want, but they also make a claim that what they're saying is true. And so the first few weeks we'll do that. And then we'll talk about informal fallacies. Informal fallacies are basically errors in logic, errors in reasoning, and you basically they're kind of fun to study, and I'll talk a little bit more about it, but they're basically just problems with your reasonings that you would do, and that's what that is. So as far as we go, that's what we're going to do in this module. Now, I'm actually recording myself on my screen like I did in one of the introductory videos, but the reason is I want to be able to just kind of glance through. This module is one. I have not added the video up here, but as you go down this, what's kind of nice is right here we have a checklist. I would recommend you print off the checklist, and you can do that by getting a printable version. I'd also recommend you print out the outcomes. That'll be useful in reviewing for the exam as well as for the final exam. And then what I would do is, week 1, you go down and you watch this little video for goal 1, which is basically week 1. And by the end of that first week, you should have done everything in here. By the end of week 2, you should do everything in here, including doing a discussion board. One thing to keep in mind is if you click on these little arrows next to them, they'll shrink up the information so it doesn't take up as much space. So, sometimes when I get something done, I would shrink it. But if you print out, if you just go on this page, if you just go on whatever it is and just, print the page, you could actually, I do that as well, and then I can just cross the things off as I do them. That's another way to do this. But, kind of just keep track. It may seem very daunting to see, this is a very long lesson. But the way to kind of keep it in mind is, let me just make this really small, is every time you see one of my videos, that's a new week. So you kind of think you go week by week through it. And then what happens is when you get to this would be goal 2, this is week 2, you're going to come here, there's going to be a reading. You're going to need to have your textbook set up. If you've not got your textbook set up by now, you need to do that. You need to go enter your code, go to Cengage. The information is on the syllabus on how to do that. But you go there, you log in, and when you log in for the first time, you'll log into the page, and you'll connect your account to the Blackboard page. And once they're synced, every time you click this, it should take you right into your Cengage account. Now you have to allow pop-ups, which I have not done. And it will take you right to the Cengage account. It'll log you in. And then it'll take you to whatever content we had. So in this case, the content was a reading. And so it'll take you right to the textbook, and you can just go straight through the reading of the textbook, and you're good. Now when you're done, you can close it, and you can go on to the next thing in here, or you can go back to the page, and you can go to what was next, would have been the logic tutorials, and you can click that. It'll take you right back over to the Cengage page, and it'll load it right into that logic tutorial. This one will take a little bit longer. I'm also a little bit far away from my router, but then what you do here is you start it.
Section 1.3 distinguishes deductive arguments from inductive arguments.
And it just kind of goes through this.
Arguments are traditionally divided into deductive and inductive.
So it's going to kind of go point by point through what the book did, and it'll give you kind of a reinforcement of these ideas. And then finally, when you're done with that, you'll take, we were in section 2, you'll take the assignment. The assignment here is what gives you points. This is the homework. This will be 10 points. Every assignment is 10 points. And when you open it, it will take you into a quiz. This is worth 10 points, but you'll notice here that it's actually out of 46 points. What it will do is basically if you miss a point, that's a quarter. So you'll get 9 3/4 or 9.8 or something. But the other thing is when you do this, most of these will allow you to take them 3 times. And so when you come through, you'll come in here and you'll say, it's necessity, so the argument is inductive, something like that, right? You're going to enter in all these, and, you're going to enter these in. And let me just finish this up. And you're going to grade it now, and it's going to go, oh, you missed these. And so after you miss it, it's giving you 1.5. It'll give you 2 of 4 points. What you can do is after you've read this and done that, you can say try another version. It'll let you try it again. And then if you get a better grade, that better grade will be what counts. So just kind of keep that in mind and work your way through it and go slowly. And like I said, I think the pictures in here are kind of nice because they show you where the breaks are. And it can be a lot, but I think it's kind of broken into sections, into chunks. And you really just need to work a little bit each week. Think about this as an average week in a class is 3 hours in the classroom, and you'd usually work about 6 hours outside. So in this class, each week, you're probably going to spend, maybe an hour or two, maybe an hour reading, a couple hours doing the tutorial, a couple hours doing homework, and then if you have another set, you'll do the same thing. And you'll some weeks you'll have more, some weeks you'll have less, but that's kind of the way it works. Is I'm sort of aiming at the idea that you're going to be spending 5 to 10 hours a week, some weeks more, some weeks less, because that kind of is what you're expected to do. If you're in a classroom, you're spending 3 hours in and several hours out. All right, I don't think I have anything else. Let me go ahead and shut this down. That's the wrong one. But if you have any questions, send me an email.